Hello, everyone. Welcome to JPNN. It is April 1st, but this is the No Goof podcast. The No Goof news, no April Fool's shenanigans here, okay? This is all real news. Let's consume it. Let us begin with E3 2022 is dead. It's done. They're calling it quits. It's over. The digital event has been canceled. The ESA put out a statement that says E3 will return in 2023 with a reinvigorated showcase that celebrates new and exciting video games and industry innovations. We previously announced that E3 would not be held in person in 2022 due to the ongoing health risks surrounding COVID-19. Today, we announced that there will be no digital E3 showcase in 2022. Instead, we will devote all of our energy and resources to delivering a revitalized physical and digital E3 experience next summer. No, you won't. Whether enjoyed from the show floor or your favorite devices, the 2023 showcase will bring the community, media, and industry back together in an all-new format and interactive experience. No, you won't. We look forward to presenting E3 to fans around the world live from Los Angeles in 2023. You will not. That will not happen. Look for more news and announcements soon. We don't need to. I mean, it's pretty much gone, in my opinion. I'd be very surprised if they come back in any capacity. I guess we'll just have to see what happens there. Geoff Keighley decided to capture the moment. And about, 5 minutes after this news took to social media yesterday, IGN started reporting it. People got emails first about it being canceled before the news was reported on it. But Geoff Keighley took to Twitter on the Summer Game Fest accounts and said, excited to share that Summer Game Fest will return this June with a slate of events. We will be producing another kickoff live show with announcements, news, and first looks. Much more to share in the coming weeks, along with some very cool new elements for 22. There's no greater fan. He went on his personal account, I think. There's no greater fan than me of what an event like E3 represents to the industry. I went to every E3 for 25 years. As the industry has evolved, the way our industry unites must evolve too. I will always fight to do what I think is right for games and don't plan to stop. He also tweeted just a simple winky face as soon as I think the news went live. So, Geoff Keighley, you did it. You killed E3. I guess I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I want to applaud that, but in my career as an influencer and as a streamer and whatnot, E3 didn't give a fuck about what we do and never included us and didn't really care whatsoever in a lot of ways. Geoff Keighley, on the other hand, was the complete opposite. E3 also gave us some of the best content that I think we've done on the channel and some of the most fun content in terms of covering it with other streamers over the years. So unless Geoff can replicate like a week-long event, it won't be the same. So I'm sad. I'm definitely sad to see it go. While I was pretty hard on it, I do hope E3 does come back in some form as a in-person show. I just honestly think that, the PlayStation, the Xbox, the Microsofts, and the Nintendos of the world, they don't need E3 anymore. They don't need them. They can do whatever the fuck they want on their own. In their own big events. And Keighley will get maybe a game or two as a big announcement. But most of the time, they're going to save that big stuff for their own things. So it's definitely a weirder time when it comes to that regard. We'll obviously be covering the Summer Game Fest stuff, whatever Keighley does this summer. But there won't be E3. There won't be E3. So sad to see it go. But just like, just like E3, we got to move on. We got to move on. Yesterday, a YouTuber and choreographer by the name of Kyle Hanagami filed a lawsuit against Epic Games over alleged unauthorized use of a dance move in Fortnite. The choreographer Hanagami claimed that it's complicated dance emote in the game's copies one of his own choreographed moves, which he holds the copyright for. The suit alleges that the Fortnite emote copies the hook of Hanagami's own dance move without permission to do so. The emote was first introduced in August 2020, while Hanagami's dance routine dates back to 2017. His suit asked for the court order to stop the emote from appearing in Fortnite and also seek legal fees and unspecified compensatory damages. He claims he holds the rights to the move at the time of filing. I kind of want to check out to see what the dance is here. Let's see. Let's look for our own, chat. Let's look for our own. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's literally an exact fucking copy. That's like, what are you talking about right there? That's just, what are you doing? Give him the It's even down to the finger. Give him the money. Give the man his money. You stole that right out. It's done. It's over. This is not the first time this has happened. I feel like they've gotten into some hot water. Epic Games has for a lot of different dance moves. And I'm not sure how those court cases were resolved, but that probably will factor into how this court case goes. But yeah, we'll see what happens, I guess. We'll keep an eye on that type of stuff. What do we got here? Ampere Analysis is out there talking about gaming subscriptions. They account for 4% of the total revenue generated by North American and European game markets, they are claiming. Their director, Piers Harding Rolls, believes that subscription services like Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, and Nintendo Switch Online generate $3.7 billion with a B annually. That compares to almost $81 billion generated from other spending on games, according to Axios.com. Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass service, which charges $15 or 11 euros monthly, has attracted 25 million members since launching in June 2017. They command about 60% of the subscription market at the moment. Phil Spencer said this past month that he's frequently asked by developers whether their titles have to be on Game Pass to stand a chance of being successful on the company's consoles. He responded and said, quote, "I also want to make clear to people that are out there." Wait, what? I also want to make clear to people that are out there that for us at Xbox, there's not one business model that we think is going to win, he said. I often get asked by developers, if I'm not in this subscription, am I not viable on Xbox anymore? And it's absolutely not true. Like we look at retail of people selling games, buying games, it's an important part of our profit and loss statement. You know that. And it's something we invest resources in to enable our developers to do great work there. So obviously the goal, in my opinion, which is not worth really anything, but you want to get your shit on Game Pass. It seems like a great way to get it in gamers' hands that have no idea who or what you're trying to do. Seems like a good thing. The Russian developer Four Quarters, which is the studio behind roguelike Loop Hero, has encouraged fans to pirate the title following various sanctions in the country. According to the developer's post to Russian social media network VK on Sunday, the studio told those looking to secure a copy of Loop Hero to, quote, raise the pirate flag, end quote, if they're unable to buy the game normally. In a follow-up post, Four Quarters doubled down on the decision and wrote, quote, we didn't do anything special. There's nothing wrong with torrents. The studio also said that players have offered to send donations directly after sharing the link. They responded by saying, quote, we are very grateful for your support, but the truth is that everything is fine with us. Send this support to your family and friends at this difficult time. I do want to say, from my own research on that they were strictly speaking to the Russian community from this, and not necessarily the global community, because you're not able to buy it on Steam at this moment. I don't necessarily know the exact specifics of that, but definitely go and do a little research on your own there to figure out ways to best support Four Quarters in a way that they are, wanting in this regard. On Tuesday, March 29th, some news popped up about Funamena, who are the makers of Wadum, Luna Moon, Dust Garden, and other games, that they are shutting down this week, according to People's Make Games' Chris Bratt. He put out a quote and said, quote, I'm absolutely gutted to report that Funamena is set to be closed by the end of this month, with all contractors already having been laid off as of last Wednesday, he said on Twitter. Quote, this is an extremely sad end to the studio story, and I hope everyone affected is able to land on their feet. Shortly after Bratt's report surfaced, Funamena, the company themselves, shared that they were in the process of securing funding to sustain the studio as recently as this past GDC. Their full quote was, Funamena was in the process of closing an investment round just before GDC, and we are still actively working to do so. Last week, we let everyone know that if we do not successfully finish the fundraiser, we will be forced to close the studio. So it seems like it's not fully closed just yet, but they're trying to get funding. And if they don't get the funding, then they will be closing. We'll see what happens. This is where I'm going to start butchering some names. Shueisha, maybe? Shueisha? Let's go with that. A Japanese publishing company that publishes magazines such as the Jump magazine line, like Weekly Shonen Jump, Jump SQ, and V-Jump, have established Shueisha Games on February 16th, 2022. They are a wholly owned subsidiary for furthering the expansion of its games business. We'll see if anything comes out from that. I got 4 different pronunciations in chat where every single one is different. I love it. That's great. Let us move on. Oh my God. Let me know in the comments. Let's see how many different pronunciations we can get going on how to pronounce. Oh my God. Capcom has announced plans to raise the Japanese salaries as part of a wider changes to its human resource operations ahead of its expected 5th consecutive year of record profits. From the beginning of its 2022 fiscal year on April 1st, employees' average base salaries will increase by 30%, and a new bonus system more closely tied to the company's business performance will be introduced, it said on Thursday. Capcom is expected to report its fiscal 2021 results in May, which is also expected to announce a 9th consecutive year of operating income growth and its 5th consecutive year of record profits. They also added a quote by saying, driven by its philosophy of being a creator of entertainment culture that stimulates your senses, Capcom will work to address the issues facing our society while aiming to improve its corporate values and establishing a relationship of trust with employees and stakeholders. I'm glad that the employees are getting a raise, but it took 5 years for that to happen. Come on. What the fuck are you doing? They better be getting bonuses as well. They better be getting some bonuses along with that shit. Speaking of workers in the video game industry, PlayStation has laid off around 90 workers in the North American offices, as it is eliminating numerous sales and marketing positions. According to one affected worker who spoke to Axios.com, as well as documenting the related to the change viewed by Axios. The company is shutting down its merchandiser team, and the U.S. roles in that group included PlayStation representatives whose job is often involved going to retail stores to prime them to sell PlayStation products and ensure staffers were knowledgeable about them. It also is cutting many retail marketing jobs. Sony PR reps did not reply to the multiple requests for comments. These cuts, which are being made at a time when PlayStation business is thriving for Sony, were attributed by leadership to a global transformation of the company's sales and business operations. One worker who was affected by the layoffs told Axios that they were disappointed the company had not told the department about cuts sooner and felt Sony could have done more to find people alternative roles. This move obviously suggests a shift towards direct-to-consumer marketing and a de-emphasis on retailers and physical game sales. I understand what Sony's doing, but the comment from the worker affected is right on the money. They should have been told ahead of time. And generally, in most big companies, they will try to find alternative roles for these staff members that are getting laid off, instead of just straight up shutting down the team and saying, get the fuck out. I get what they're saying from a company perspective, though, when it says, the past 2 years, they weren't going to retail stores to prime them to sell PlayStation products. There's no reason to do that right now. Every single time that a PS5 goes on sale, there are entire websites, there are entire Twitter accounts, the entirety of social media comes together to let you know. And there's nothing that a singular person can do to combat that, to make it better, because it's already, 10x what that person could do. So I get that aspect of it, but maybe let the people know what's going on instead of just straight up cutting them out. Speaking of Sony, they recently acquired Fire Sprite Studio, and that studio is working on a AAA horror game. It has been revealed. It was spotted by a Reset Era user. And there was a job listing for the UK-based studio's website that states a horror game is in development and it will run on Unreal Engine 5. The posting says, we are looking for a narrative director to join our development team for a AAA narrative-driven horror adventure game in Unreal 5. The narrative director is responsible for the project storytelling, helping establish and consider the game's universe and lore, with responsibility for the quality implementation of narrative content for project milestones and ultimately the game's release. Wonder what IP that would be. Wonder if that's going to be a brand new IP or if that would be, something else. Who could say? Who could say? Speaking of Unreal Engine 5, Unreal announced a State of Unreal, which will be happening on April 5th at 11 a.m. Eastern. The tweet says, you're invited. Tune in on April 5th at 11 a.m. Eastern for our next State of Unreal broadcast. Maybe not the most exciting things for consumers, but as far as the last one goes, it was pretty exciting to see what UE5 looked like at that point, and that was a long time ago. So I'm curious to see where the engine is at now, especially now that so many games are shifting over to UE5 or announcing that they're working on new UE5. We'll definitely check that out and cover that on JPNN or Trailer Time, if not both. Yacht Club's Games shared a blog post breaking down what it costs to keep the studio going and shared some neat info about the studio's sales. There's a tweet thread to summarize all the details, which you can find over at twitter.com/yachtclubgames. But the part of the tweeted thread stated that Shovel Knight Treasure Trove is close to hitting 3 million sold. That's a lot. The tweet was, before we wrap up, we want to give a quick update on Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. We're close to 3 million units mark. If we're lucky, maybe we'll break the barrier at some point this year. We're immensely grateful for our amazing community's continued love and support. That's wild to me that sold 3 million units. Kind of nutty. Pinball FX fans are out there criticizing developer Zen Studios' newly announced pricing plans for its upcoming 4th game. The new title, simply called Pinball FX, launches in early access tomorrow, which I think might be today. I don't know when this was written. It might be out. It's on the Epic Game Store, but don't go too crazy with the Epic Game Store. Don't run over right now, because there's $150 worth of microtransactions, as well as an optional subscription service that costs $15 a month, or $100 for 12. Obviously, this is causing anger within the Pinball FX community, many of who have already purchased a number of the 99 tables available in the current version, Pinball FX 3. Zen has said that when Pinball FX launches, all these tables will need to be purchased again. Jesus, that's a lot. Granzella chief creator Kazuma Kujo has shared the first information on Disaster Report 5 during the latest Granzilla Gathering live stream. The details are as follows. The game are as follows. The game is open world. Story set between Disaster Report and Disaster Report 2. Specifically, it is set 3 years before the first game during the fall. The story is set near Stiver Island. Kujo mumbles after being glared by the staff. Characters from the previous games will appear, including Natsumi Higa and the protagonist from the first game, Matsuyuki Sudo. Sudo, quote, may be a bit of a jerk, and, quote, his growth from the second game into his current self will be shown, but, quote, he is not the protagonist. We'll have more information on that as it comes out. Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt will be released on April 27th, according to a PlayStation blog post. And Dead Cells is still out there posting a major free update. The update is called Break the Bank, and it's currently out now. It features a new biome, 3 enemies, 3 weapons, and 3 mutations. The devs also promised DLC and more free updates for at least another year of supporting that game. The PlayStation Plus games for April have been confirmed, and they are what was leaked. You have Hood, Outlands, and Legends, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, and Slay... Oh, sorry, I didn't get the full name. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. Sorry, I forgot about that. Slay the Spire, and also a little quick editor's note that Persona 5 will be leaving the PS Plus collection on May 11th. And I will add in here and say, don't play Persona 5 via that. Grab Persona 5 Royale, which is, I think, still on sale for like $30 on Amazon. It's worth it. It's a really good game. You should do it. Nintendo is apparently preparing to add more titles to the NES and SNES libraries on Nintendo Switch Online. According to the Nintendo Status Bot Twitter account, a profile that tracks Nintendo's maintenance windows, both the NES and SNES apps will go down for maintenance on Thursday morning between 55 and 2 UTC. Nintendo often takes its retro console apps down for maintenance when it adds new titles to them, suggesting that it may make an announcement either today or on Thursday morning that more NES... So this was written on Wednesday. So I don't know if we have an update to this, but they might not have announced it yet. The last time both apps went down for maintenance was right after the last Nintendo Direct, which resulted in the addition of Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings to the service. A little bit of rumors here to close out JPNN for the day/week. According to Windows Central, Microsoft will be moving ahead with the Xbox Game Pass Family Plan, launching sometime this year. This will allow 5 players within the same country to access one Xbox Game Pass subscription library. Obviously, this is far cheaper than buying 5 separate Game Pass subs. It's very good. That's very good. That's great. I hope that's the case. And the other rumor, NetEase, the Chinese internet technology company, will reportedly acquire 100% of Quantic Dream, with an announcement likely to come sometime this summer, sources suggest. The company purchased a minority stake of Quantic Dream in 2019 to, quote, support Quantic Dream's vision of becoming a global multi-franchise entertainment company and to develop advanced technologies and games for the future. But now, it seems like NetEase will be acquiring 100% of the company. The deal has apparently been in talk for months, but it's unclear whether or not the deal has 100% finalized. Whenever this does break, if it does in the coming months, obviously we'll be there to cover it. That's going to do it for JPNN. I told you there was no April Fools whatsoever, okay? We only do hard-hitting journalistic reports on video games, the news, and the industry. And maybe a little bit of trolling every once in a while. That's about that. Make sure to check out the April Fool's trailer time if you want to see what is happening in the industry. With regard to that, tomorrow on the channel, we'll have a normal trailer time, which does include the Final Fantasy 6.1 trailer reactions, as well as a handful of other trailers, a couple of VR things and whatnot. You can check all that out here at youtube.com/itmeJP. Make sure to subscribe. You can get those vids in your sub box. Like the video and let us know in the comments if there's anything you want us to change to the news. For now, we're going to call it. All right. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on Monday for any stories that we missed today and for anything that happens over the weekend. We're out of here. Have a good one. Bye-bye.